What it do, Grizz Nation? It's your boy Evan Hayes, the co-host of the No Bluffing Podcast, and I'm back with another post-game bounces. I will be reviewing last night's game as the Memphis Grizzlies took on the Orlando Magic. I will be going over my positives, my negatives, and my overall insights on the game. But first, a quick little rundown. The Grizzlies won last night's game in a nail-biting victory that came down to the very last second as they won 105-104 to push their record to 37-19 on the season, putting them back in second place in the Western Conference. We are not tied with the Denver Nuggets for second place as they also have the same record. We have the tiebreaker, so we're back in second place. I also have to note we were healthy for the most part, but Vince Williams did not suit up. He is dealing with some right knee soreness. As this was the second night of back-to-back, the Grizzlies were just still kind of slowly bringing him back in his rehab. So going to the key contributors, Ja Morant was a team house scorer with 23 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists, and 7 turnovers. I'll get into that later. Desmond Bane has 16 points and 7 rebounds. Jaren Jackson Jr. also has 16 points with 3 blocks and also the game-saving block on Paulo Banchero. Brandon Clark had 13 points, 11 rebounds with his first double-double of the season. Shout out Canada. Santi Aldama had 9 points and 11 rebounds with also 2 blocks. And a special shout out to Gigi Jackson Jr., who had 12 points, who went on a 9-0 run by himself in the third quarter with 3 straight threes, which really turned the game around and let this comeback happen. Orlando's key contributors, Franz Wagner had 25 points and 6 rebounds. Paulo Banchero also had 21 points and 6 rebounds. Cole Anthony had a stat sheet stuffer type of game with 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists. And Wendell Carter rounded out the key contributors with a 10-point and 11 rebound double-double. My first positive takeaway is resiliency. This was a game we got out the mud. We were down by 19 points in the third quarter and then down by 9 points in the fourth quarter with only 4:30 to go. But despite this, the team bound together and got the job done. They also went on an 11-1 run in the fourth quarter to close this game out. Speaking on that, late game execution was superb during this game. And that is one thing that's been a struggle for us all season. It's been very inconsistent. Some games, like the Boston game, where everyone keep coming back to, we had great late game execution. Guys were playing great on both ends of the floor. We're getting to our sets, not turning the ball over. That's what we saw tonight. But it's also been some games against like the Mavericks and the Nets that down the stretch, and the Clippers, that was one game we lost late in the fourth quarter. We couldn't get the job done. But tonight, we did what we needed to do. We closed out with a lineup with Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Santi Aldama, Brandon Clark, and Jaren Jackson Jr. That group was firing on all cylinders in the fourth quarter. We were getting to our sets. We were getting to the free throw line. We weren't giving up anything defensively. That group right there really locked down on both ends of the floor and got the job done. You love to see it. My second positive is just Ja Morant being Ja Morant. I know there's been a lot of discourse with everyone in Grizz Nation, even within the franchise, about what's been going on with Ja Morant this year. It's been some games where he looks like his old self, where he's high energy, dunking the ball, shooting good layups, getting his teammates involved. But also been some games where he stands in the corner. His body language is bad. We even saw a few weeks ago where when he was injured, he had the ski mask on. It's just been a very up and down season for Ja Morant. But this was a type of game where Ja was being Ja. I have to say that I feel like a lot of other people believe Ja Morant is the engine of this team. So when he goes, the team goes along with it. We can only go as far as Ja Morant can go. And this was a game that Ja really pulled us over the finish line. He had a very inefficient night. He only went 10 for 24 from the field. He had 7 turnovers. Of course, you do not love your star point guard committing 7 turnovers. You don't love him. You don't love your star point guard shooting under 45% from the field. But I'll take it because his energy was there throughout the whole game. He was forcing the issue on the Magic. He was talking on defense. His body language was better. He wasn't talking to the refs as much for the call, even though the calls he get are very few and far between. He just went out there and hooped. His energy after the game, when Jaren Jackson Jr. blocked the final shot, he was talking to his team. He was talking to T. Morant and Demo on the sideline. He was talking trash again. That's what we want to see on both ends of the floor. 12 being completely dialed in the fourth quarter. He sort of took over the game. In that fourth quarter, he scored 10 of his 23 points during that quarter. He also hit that big 3 from from top of the key, he went 1 for 7 for three, by the way. But he hit that 1 3 that kind of got that fourth quarter run going that pulled us over the finish line. That's what we want to see. When Ja Morant is on one, he's on 10, not a lot of guys on the team can stop him. And he cannot, and he can raise this team ceiling like no other team can. Yes, Jaren Jackson Jr. is having an all-star type year. He's having an all-NBA type year. But only one guy on this team can galvanize this team like Ja Morant does, can raise the ceiling of this team and bring the energy to this team and to this franchise, to this city that Ja Morant does. And that's what we love to see. Ja Morant took 24 shots tonight. He's only took 20 shots or over 6 times this whole year. That has to change. That has to change. And you see when Ja Morant takes a lot of shots, when he's forcing the issue on the offense, forcing the issue on the defense, good things happen. So shout out Ja. He had a great game. Despite the inefficiency, despite all the turnovers, he was still making things happen on both ends of the floor, and that's what you want to see out of your star player. My only negative takeaway was kind of the energy. There's been a lot of times this season where the team goes through lulls or the rotation look bad on offense, the passes look bad, the offense looks sloppy, the defensive rotation look bad, even the coaching rotations can be questionable sometimes, just not locked in all 48 minutes. And I get this came out the second night of back-to-back, and there was some tired legs, and there was a lot of shots that were short, some bad turnovers and all that. But you can't have that in playoff basketball. Like, you can't excuse for energy. Yes, the team in a very tightly contested game pulled out the win, but when it comes to playoff basketball, you can't have those spurts where you go down 10 points, 15 points, and 19 points, 20 points. You can't expect a G.G. Jackson Jr. to get hot like he did every night. You can't expect Brandon Clark to have the type of game that he had every night. We love that the bench showed up. We love that the depth of the bench showed their positive face this game. But all 15 guys, all 12 guys had to be locked in from the jump, because in playoff basketball, if you go down by 15 points, it's not a good chance you're going to make that comeback every single time. And we've seen too many times this year where the team has put itself in a hole late and they've tried to fight back and they just couldn't get the job done. Tonight, we did get the job done. So we will take what we can get. We will take a W. We never complain about a W. But as the second half of the season goes on, this schedule isn't getting any easier. And you have to start building those winning habits going into the playoffs. So energy, that's one thing you can't replicate. That's one thing you can't buy. Energy is just something that should be infectious on the team. That's why I mentioned before why when Ja Morant, his energy is high, it's infectious through the whole team. And you need that from him and all of the 15 guys. We have Cleveland coming up next on Sunday that rounds out this road trip. And then we'll be playing the Phoenix Suns the following Tuesday. But that's all I have. Please make sure to follow my show, the No Bluffing Podcast, every Monday. Please follow all other shows on the Bluff City Media Network. I'm Evan Hayes. That's all I have. I'll see y'all next time for another post-game bounce. And as always, go Grizz.